Griggs here with the free agents. Trying to encourage you to get out, get checked, get fit, get moving. That's the only way to do it. The only way we know how.
Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome to Doc Talkin. Get checked, get fit, get moving. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Griggs, and I'm waiting on Dr. Mark Allendary, my co-host, to come in. We talk about, and we have another special guest today. We have Dr. Courtney Washington. She's on her way in as well. Here, where we talk about all things health. This is an homage back to our original show that started here. This is home. This is where it all started for Doc Griggs here in 2011 at WBOK. First of all, I want y'all to understand it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It is hot. I want to remind you feel free to call in to our talk line at 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. We're here every Thursday from 12 to 1. Following the front porch. You're used to hearing Dr. Derry and I on Wednesdays, on Bad Churn Wednesdays. During the pandemic, we found out how bad the churn was, that we need to be watched every Wednesday at 11:30, typically around the 11:30 hour. But there were more questions. I felt it was time to come back to the community to talk to things to empower you to be the best and most healthy that you can be. I keep saying it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. For anybody that hadn't paid attention outside, I want you to realize it's hot. I know that we do a lot of talking about things like heat index and record highs, but I want people to understand what that actually means. I think it's time to revisit how we assess our hydration. The way things work is basically when we're walking outside and let's say our humidity is high, especially when it's above 93%, our bodies don't lose the ability to sweat. The reason that we cool off is because as our body processes things, as things heat up and there's more blood flow, particularly to our skin, we're able, not only can we sweat, we're able to walk and allow that sweat to cool off, convection. It's able to evaporate and we get the cooling sensation. The problem is, now I want you to pay attention. I was at the TV station, not this past weekend, but the weekend before last. No, it was during the week. The news anchor, the weather, our weather person, Grace, said that our sidewalks can be 147 degrees. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that with respect to puppies and pets and your own bare feet. But I want you to think about that. Now, we're going to walk outside. The temperature is 93. The heat index is, say, 108. The humidity is 93%. The sidewalk is 147 degrees. The actual air outside is 93 degrees. The intensity of the heat is 108. The saturation of water in the air is 93%. Your body still has the sweat because it's all the processes. It gives off water, and as things heat up, it has nowhere to go. So we're basically walking into an oven or an air fryer or a convection engine. That's why we're a convection oven rather. That's why we're saying that it's important between the hours of 10 and 4 when we have these heat advisories to go into a cool environment as soon as possible. The latest studies show that the most comfortable temperatures in houses, the recommended, there was an argument one day at the station. Some people say 78 for energy efficiency. The other ones say for comfort, 68, but somewhere between 68 and 78 degrees. We're talking 30 degrees hotter and not able to get rid of any water. Now you see where the problem is. There's no way to get the water out. If it's so hot that you don't eat or drink water, there's no extra water going in. That's how you can end up in situations like what's called heat exhaustion. Those terms are thrown around a lot. There's heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And what I like to do is simplify it for folks. If you're outside and you're doing nothing, let's just say you're standing outside, waiting to go in a building, stand outside, waiting in line, walking from one place to another, and you start to get, it's called heat exhaustion for a reason. You start to get the cardiovascular or your heart symptoms of being tired, meaning that you just feel extra tired. You're starting to feel like you might be kind of thirsty. If your body starts to make you feel like you've been outside for 3 to 4 to 10 times longer than the time you've been out there, that means you're getting exhausted, and that's called heat exhaustion. If all of a sudden you start to feel dizzy, or you start to feel, a little woozy or faint, that means, imagine working to the point that you can't go no more. Your body feels like it's about to shut down. That's extreme heat exhaustion, and you need to do wherever you can. Get to shade, get to a cool environment, cool off. Do the things that you would normally do if you were tired, but it's more of an emergency because it's a heat emergency that your body is trying to compensate. Now, that's heat exhaustion. Get to a cool environment, cool off as best you can, drink cool fluids, but then you don't want it to progress to heat stroke. The reason they call it stroke is that's when your body starts to show neurologic symptoms. If you pass out, if you are confused, if your body starts giving signals that you need to eject any food that's inside, it's trying to do whatever it can to shut down as many processes as it can to slow down because things are about to get mission critical. That's a heat stroke, and that's a medical emergency, and that's when you need to call 911. That's our difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. The things that we tell you to do, the things that you should do in the morning, especially when you know it's going to be extra hot outside. First of all, know your medications. Some of us take fluid pills and at night to make you extra dehydrated. And understand that when you wake up in the morning, if you wake up in the morning and you notice when you go to the bathroom, it's really, really dark. Normally, it's really, really dark. Well, that's because your body has been working and it's been had water produced and you've gotten rid of it. But you hadn't taken anything for recommended, 7 to 9 hours, 6 to 9, a minimum of 6 hours, up to 9 hours of sleep. So that's why the first time you go to the bathroom, it looks dark and dehydrated. Now, if you're starting off that way, does it make sense if I were to tell you to drink something that would make you more dehydrated, i.e. Coffee? Not only is it a diuretic, it makes your heart beat faster. And once it makes your heart beat faster, as your heart beats faster, we talked about the fact that the more work your body does, the more heat is given off, and the more water is given off, and the more dehydrated you can become. Welcome, Dr. Derry. I'm educating because it's so hot outside and talking about heat. So the recommendation, especially on those days when you know it's going to be extra, extra hot outside, is instead of reaching for that coffee first, go ahead and go to the bathroom by all means, because that can be mission critical. But drink a bottle of water, a minimum of 1 bottle of water, sometimes 2. And then after you assess, do your capillary refill test where you take your thumb, press down. I use my middle finger, and you lift your thumb and count 1, 2. Luckily, I'm hydrated, but if it takes longer than 2 seconds, then you are dehydrated. The beauty is this is the start of your day because remember, by the time you hear that you're thirsty, it's usually too late. If you do still have a sluggish response, drink more water. I would recommend maybe a half a bottle. Test again, if not, finish the bottle. Relax for a minute, and if you don't have the sensation to go to the bathroom, then you know you were definitely dehydrated. Then go ahead and drink your coffee, and then start your day. Again, Dr. Derry, I was explaining the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke, in that if your body's making you feel exhausted, means I'm tired, I'm awful tired, dog tired, and your cardiovascular and your body system starts telling you that. But you haven't been outside long enough and been working hard enough to feel that way. That's heat. That's why we call it heat exhaustion. You're exhausted. The difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke is confusion. You don't know where you are. You feel like you're about to lose consciousness. You're just you can't help yourself. You're vomiting. You're having a lot of people associate stroke with nervous system. When you're having neurologic signs, that's heat stroke, and that's a medical emergency. And you need to call a doctor. The best thing that you can do for yourself is get to a cool place, avoid the extreme heat between 10 and 4, and hydrate.
And then I think there are a number of cooling facilities that are available. Yeah. I think the Nord Sea.
They're calling they're cooling centers. They're senior centers. They're set up.
Lots of places.
What is it called? NOLA.gov. They can have the cooling centers around. And if you can't make it to a cooling center, there are cool grocery stores. There are cool stores. There's a cool library. There's a cool building that you can explore. There's a cool museum. Get somewhere cool to cool down. The safest way to avoid the heat is not go outside if you don't have to.
Right. And one of the things that is of concern is that this is, I've only been in New Orleans for a short 21 years. Yeah. And 21 years ago, I would be wearing a 3-piece suit in the summertime. And now, as Eric will tell you, I just am wearing a T-shirt with a vest over it. That's my version of a 3-piece suit now, and that's largely because it is
hot.
It is so much hotter than it was when I got here a short 21 years ago. It is so much more uncomfortable, and we know that this is going to continue to be the case. And so it's really incumbent upon us to find these solutions, these long-term solutions that will, because summer comes around every year and it always seems to kind of last a little bit longer. The winters and the springs tend to last a little bit shorter, but still, I think what Eric is telling you is great practice for all of us to be following.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I want you to select light-colored clothing. And over the years,
As opposed to me wearing black right now.
right. But
Like-
now he's wearing it with a T-shirt,
like I wear
literally.
every day.
Well, right, but he's accustomed to. He's used to it. I started, I like wearing a sports coat, but I wear linen,
You have a linen.
light linen. I typically wear the undershirt with the rib tight undershirt. I quit wearing that. It's good to wear an undershirt at times because it helps. In a loosely fitting undershirt, it can wick the heat and pull the perspiration. Remember, you cool off when the perspiration is pulled from the skin. It can wick it away. But if it's too tight, it can hold it in. Wearing thin-colored, light-colored clothing is essential. If it feels hot and heavy, it is. You don't want something that will take the perspiration and the heat and hold it into your body. You want it loose-colored. So you can actually, like, again, if you feel like the material can breathe and your skin can breathe, the breathing is being able to actually evaporate for the sweat to come off your body and cool off.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, all great. And it seems like we have this talk every year, and I always learn a little something from you.
So
when we do talk about it.
And I'm gonna tell you some practical stuff. Now, this is because this is long ago in a galaxy far away. Naren, this ain't funny. I had hair, and yeah, man, shut up. Yeah, I'll take that from him. I won't take it from you. But there's a difference when you don't have the protective covering of hair on the top of your head. The ability as those of us that are of the no hair persuasion, we're in the cool kids club with no hair. A little longer in the tooth, some of us. But we know that once you start to sweat, you feel it just go all right down your face. It's pouring. It's obvious to everyone. The problem, though, is your head is exposed to direct sunlight. When we talk about putting on sunscreen and the SPF 30, reapplying every 2 hours, and all those things we talk about for the skin, if you're going to be out walking, if you're going to be out exercising, my dad really is on me about wearing a hat, wearing something to protect the top of your skull. You want to protect your brain. Heat, sunburn on the top of your head is one thing, but actually this heat loss that can happen is something that needs to be protected, and it's something as simple as wearing a hat. Dr. Washington is about to come in the building when we get the family practice perspective. Hello, Dr. Washington. Welcome back to Doc Talkin. Docs and Dads. Where's Slater? Slater
Are you
Gator.
getting Auntie Kimba's out there?
Oh, Auntie
with
Kimba's out there.
Slater?
I'm like, wait, hold on, man. Where's that Slater? Docs and Dads,
Yeah.
Dr. Washington and mommies
He's
and
with
mommies.
Auntie right
Yeah,
now.
he's with Auntie. It's a family affair. But we're just talking about the seriousness of this heat. We keep talking about it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Explaining to people the purpose of us giving this message so much. I was at the TV station last week, and Grace, she made me aware. I never thought about it. She said the sidewalk can get 147 degrees. So it's 147 degrees on the sidewalk. It's 93. The ambient air, the air is 93, but then the heat index is 108. The humidity is 93%. We're walking outside. You can't sweat because the humidity is so high. You got heat coming up from the bottom. You got heat coming in from the top, and you're surrounded in this sauna, in this veil of hot water.
Yeah, and Eric, one thing I think that's important for us to consider are our fur babies as well,
Oh.
and their paws as they're walking on those hot sidewalks as well. And so, when I let my cats out in the mornings and the evenings, sometimes they'll just walk out and they just turn around and walk back in. And I think partly because it's just too hot for their paws.
So if you want to think about it, if you're thinking about walking your dog between 10 and 4 when it's hot outside and the sun's out, take your shoes off and see what you'll walk on them bare. That's the easiest litmus test ever. If you gonna walk your dog in the hot sun at 12 o'clock, take your shoes off. What's good for the pet is good for the owner.
There you go.
That's it. Dr. Washington, as a family practice doctor, are we saying anything? I mean, what am I leaving out? You got your shoes on.
I think you've covered it. And taking small sips of water throughout the day, I think that most of us do not drink enough water at baseline, right? So your body is trying to cool itself off and keep this constant temperature, but you're not feeding it the circulation material. Water is good.
You mentioned feeding, and that's the other thing. When we say we want you to drink a certain amount of water, it's half your body and half your body weight in ounces. You can eat your fluid, yeah.
Yes.
What types of food? What?
Watermelon, Watermelon is like 98% water, and then its name is water
Hello?
melon.
There we go. It's got water in the name, right?
Yes, water. I also love grapes. I freeze them for my kids, so it's a nice little snack. And then when they're trying to hydrate themselves, it also helps with that too. It has fiber. It does all types of great stuff.
So if you think about the way everything has designed, so I'm sorry, y'all. I got caught up last night. I got sucked down a rabbit hole I did not expect to. I was on Netflix. I saw something that said dinosaur. And it said narrated by Morgan Freeman. So I was like, this ought to be interesting. Hour and a half, 2 hours later, I was all in. I learned about everything. I got nervous and upset when the Tyrannosaurus had babies, and I'm not gonna give it away. There was a comment. But anyway,
Was it animation or?
Oh yeah, it was
did
kind of animation, but Morgan Freeman did the Morgan Freeman,
Yeah,
and
of
it
course,
explained it the way that he does. But what it made me think about is the things that we need, if we pay attention to, are naturally here. The summertime is the hottest time of the year in our hemisphere, right? We have tomatoes, we have the grapes, we have the blueberries, all the things that grow naturally with extra fluid in them to hydrate us. All right, cucumbers. I'm sure between the two of y'all, what is I'm gonna throw out some food and tell me what you would do with it. I got cucumbers, tomatoes,
Mediterranean salad.
which would have what, and how would you make it?
So Mediterranean salad, cucumbers, tomatoes. I also love fresh mozzarella, some mozz in there. Oh, and some Italian dressing. Ooh, or you could do a balsamic vinaigrette.
Oh, but you got to talk to the people. She really got caught
Yeah,
up.
she
Sorry,
really,
sorry,
yeah,
I
she
love-
really like if there was a thought bubble over her head, she had 4 different versions of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
So I don't
ooh.
like to eat the same things
Yeah,
every day.
yeah.
I'm a leftover no-go, but it has to be something that I love. So I always, with me and my children, I think of the things that we have, and we do this. It's like, okay, do you want a little honey in that? Do we want to spice it up with a little mango? What are we doing
So,
today?
wait, now I left those out, the tangerines and mangoes. But for those that are watching, you don't seem to understand. She got caught up. She put 2 fingers and she was like, no.
Seriously, I saw the thought bubble form. I saw it.
All right, so here we go. I got watermelon. I got feta.
Yeah, I've got myself another Mediterranean salad. I would take those tomatoes and cucumbers, add that watermelon, add some feta, some spinach. With the lemon, I would have it with lemon and olive oil, a little salt and pepper, and probably some mint, and maybe some basil on top of that as well. And you got yourself a meal, baby.
Oh, I got one. I got cantaloupe. I got cream.
What type of cream?
Whipped cream or condensed milk.
I like the hand motion.
Yeah,
That
see,
was
I'm
very
going
good.
somewhere with this. See, this is what happens when you can't sleep and you be TikToking and Instagramming and stuff. Apparently,
Is that what the dinosaurs were doing too?
Yeah,
Or
that's
did
exactly.
they were
The
taking-
Tyrannosaurus with the little arms, with the little arms, with the little arms.
little TikToking and Netflixing.
We're going to go to break. I'm going to give you this recipe. This is actually an ice cream that can be made, an ice cream analog made with cantaloupe, and they use condensed milk or whipping cream, but we'll get back to it. And with my Tyrannosaurus arms. Doc Talkin, get checked, get fit, get moving. Dr. Derry, Dr. Washington, Dr. Griggs. Back in 2 and 2.
We scared to do something. And we like to do something. Do something. It doesn't matter what you do. Get moving, y'all. I just want you to move. I think you know how to do that. In New Orleans, we move really well. We hop. We skip. And everybody knows how to just do something. Do something.
WBOK,
Better pay attention.
powered by Cox Business.
Be sure to join us Thursday afternoon on The Reality Check as WBOK's very own Wendell Pierce, in conjunction with the New Orleans Film Society, will be here to discuss his new movie, They Fight. Don't miss out on this exclusive interview with Wendell as he discusses the movie and other projects he is working on. It all goes down on The Reality Check Thursday afternoon on WBOK.
It's time to lock in.
Yes, coach.
Let's get it. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Come on.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creatives who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of wills, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
What if you could pull up a chair at the same table as your doctors? Join me, Kimber White Dupree, as I welcome board-certified physicians, Dr. Princess Dinner and Dr. Darlonda Rayno Harris. For Table Rounds, we're bringing those meaningful medical conversations out of the hospital and into our community. Health topics that matter most, from the health disparities and menopause to mental health and much more. Table Rounds with Dr. Princess Dinner and Dr. Darlonda Rayno Harris. Every fourth Monday at 10 a.m. on the front porch, because better conversations lead to better health.
This is Doc Graves here with the free agents. Trying to encourage you to get out, get checked, get fit, get moving. There's only one way to do it. The only way we know how in New Orleans. We hop, we skip, and we like to do something. It doesn't matter what you do. I just want you to move. I think you know how to do that. In New Orleans, we move.
Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Doc Talkin. Get checked, get fit, get moving. Doc's dad, Dr. Washington, and baby Slater Gator is with Auntie Kimber right now.
Yes, indeed.
It's a family affair. It's a village affair. Real quick, I'm going to give you the recipe for this interview. But there was another way to make it was a fruit. It was a peanut butter and banana. I'm going to get to frozen peanut butter, banana, make ice cream. It's a healthy ice cream analog. But what I saw was they took the cantaloupe and they
scraped it.
They scraped it,
Scooped
but
it.
They scooped it and left it in there. And they got the seeds out. Then they put in cream. And then they put it in the refrigerator, the freezer, and it was an ice cream, and it looked absolutely amazing. Obviously amazing because my mouth is watering right now. I'm not dehydrated either. But what I'm trying to show you is different ways that you can just make healthy things. You can eat your water,
right,
instead of just drinking it. Now it's hot, Doc. So Dr. Washington is on television as well. So on WDSU. And what was your topic? And we're talking. Kids are back in school. Parents are back on their schedules, but it's hot.
Exactly. So we talked about how to keep the kids cool. Kids have, they're smaller, and then also some of the ACs are out in some of our local schools. So dressing them in lighter clothing, having a water bottle, encouraging them to have healthy water tips, like taking small sips of water to remain cool, and also when to let the teacher know if they're getting overheated, if they start to get a headache, if they start to have dry mouth, those sorts of things, because when those kids are little, they don't know how to really say what they're feeling.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it also, listen, it's so hard to go to school right now, and it's hard to go to school in the middle of summer or summertime, and when people want to be out playing. But I hope whatever is causing those problems with ACs in the schools, I hope they get taken care of quickly, because not being cool or being excessively hot in school is kind of like being hungry or excessively thirsty. You're just not going to concentrate on your work. So
the other thing is that, you're talking about not everyone is blessed enough to have air conditioning. I grew up with a window unit, and, my grandparents grew up in the 20s. But we had a house, we had all the accoutrements, but they just didn't believe in a bunch of electricity. So, the natural flow
Hold on, did you just say they didn't believe in electricity? No, not using. Was that like what, the 1940s or 19?
Yeah, it was actually. They bought
about?
the first house in the neighborhood, actually, and they didn't believe in using unnecessary electricity because my grandfather grew up on a farm. My grandmother did the same. So there was a lot of window opening. If you were hot outside, you go sit on the porch, depending on where the sun was. Going to sit and take a swing up under the tree, enjoying the cool breezes under the tree from the leaves. For a while, it took a while for my grandmother, it might have been the 80s or 90s, my grandmother decided to get not that we couldn't afford it, she decided to get a dryer, because she would hang our clothes out. All my clothes smelled like sun. We'd hang them out in the clothesline. If it was raining, I had to run home and bring them inside. And this is in the middle of a city, and we weren't alone. We weren't the only ones to do it. My point is, the other thing that you notice is just the convection of air. If you want to cool houses, we talk about making houses safe for infection prevention, and we say open the doors. The houses have to breathe. I don't know if anybody's ever stood in the doorway of a building where the front door is open and the back door is open, and you get the breast, this breeze, and they're using the fans.
Right. I mean, Eric, I think you probably know about this. I mean, this is how the houses in New Orleans were essentially built this way, right? I mean, as shotguns like that, so you could have the front and back door, and in fact, all the doors in the house entirely open for breezes like that.
And it was nothing like having the fan on and the window open at night. I mean, we're talking about heat, but I can remember even now, like when it got cold in the winter, you just walked around with more clothes on. You put blankets on.
Have you been to one of the theaters that are on Canal Street? I forget which one it is, but where if you go down into the basement of the theater, there was an area, it was a huge room where they would pack with ice. And that ice was the ice that kept the building, before the days of electricity and before AC. They would pack it full of ice, and during a performance or something, and all that would just lift up into the audience, and that's what kept the musicians, the actors, or the performers on stage, and the audience cool. And that was of the time that was considered high technology.
Well, the funny thing is, all this stuff is coming back. So they have these things now. If you go on Amazon, it's a swamp cooler, and it's automated. It's a cooler, and you put ice in it, and it has a fan on it. Hello. These things actually work. Drinking cool beverages. Dr. Washington, you're from here. You grew up in this. Talk about the evolution in cooling things.
So let me talk about my heat trauma growing up as a young person in New Orleans. So definitely humid. My grandmother's house, where we actually lived momentarily when I was younger, it was a shotgun that they turned into a camelback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
As their family grew. My great grandmothers were identical twins. So she lived on the opposite side.
Wait, your great grandmother's and your boys are.
Twins, yeah, twins run very, very heavy. But what she used to do is we had these huge trees. We had a pecan tree, we had an oak tree, and I think that we also missed that just standing under a tree. Like if you ever jog down Carrollton Avenue going towards the river bend, it feels like at least 10 to 15 degrees cooler.
So I was about to say, let me speak from experience. Y'all remember a couple years ago, I decided I was going to it was the month of May, I'm going to take 1,000,000 steps. I was under the treatment of Dr. Washington. That's how I lost all this weight and got really healthy. But when I tell you a minimum of 15 degrees cooler, and if I would find myself, if you're walking outside, go from shade to shade. If you got to cross the street, do it safely. If you go from shade to shade to shade, it's noticeably comfortable. And I hate this, man. I'm bringing up my little boy, man. My little puppy, Poppy. 15 years. I had to put him down earlier this summer, but I'll never forget the first time I tried to walk him outside in the middle of the day. He would hide under every car and wouldn't come out until I had to go get him and go home. Common sense. It's cooler in the shade. Common sense. Wear shoes. Don't go out in the heat if you don't have to. But it's amazing the temperature differential between. I don't know. I got caught up in Poppy. I'm sorry about that.
Correct. And also, so our tricks were we did have a screen door on the front, and we had a screen door on the back of the shotgun. So the actual big storm door was always open. So you can get that nice tread wind breeze there. And then we had ceiling fans. That circulation of that breeze in there, it did not feel like you're on dehydrate in the oven. Right. And also when going outside, we always dressed in light colored clothing because it helps keep us cool, something that's actually light as far as the materials, so that we remain cool and don't overheat.
Do you remember how cool it was when you would be on your bike and you just coast and you'd feel that breeze?
Yeah, but again, just like you're talking about your grandparents, those summers were different summers than what we're having now.
Well, but here's the difference. So if it were ever that hot, they wouldn't go outside.
No, we don't.
Right, but I mean, but again, it was a different. It is like right before you walked in, I was saying I used to still wear 3-piece suits in the summer, like in the summertime, because it was just a different heat. And I've only been here for a short 21 years. But 21 years ago when I first got here, now I would never do that. It's unbearable. The heat is unbearable. And the point that I was making to Eric earlier was that we're just reaching a time where the summers are just longer and hotter, and we just have to acknowledge that. And again, I go back to those poor kids that are in schools without AC right now. Just like we're seeing those poor soldiers that are on that ship right in the in wherever they are in the Gulf or wherever they are, but without AC, and just I feel bad for anybody who has to live in this heat right now without the ability of having AC. And if we think about resource poor countries, right? So I'm going to shift into dengue and malaria a little bit here.
Yeah.
It's summer times where you see these diseases, not one, largely because this is when the mosquitoes are proliferating, but two, because people have to keep windows open because they don't have AC. And again, we're talking about resource poor countries. And when they don't have AC, they have to keep the windows open. If they don't have screens on their windows, you'd be amazed how a municipality or a county or a country, if they just went and screened windows, the rates of malaria and dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases would go down significantly. But just my heart goes out to the people who don't have the comforts that we do now, and it just I just hope this heat passes ASAP.
Well, and you brought up something else though that just it's the simple things that are the healthiest, right? You talk about mosquitoes. If you're going to sit outside, if you have issues, it's amazing what a fan does. They simply can't beat the flow. Seriously, the windows with the fans blowing. I remember my grandmother there'd be a fan blowing inside, a fan blowing outside. Then there might be a fan that rotates from side to side to protect you. And it's the most comfortable.
That's a Southern thing. So my favorite thing now has been going to restaurants that have outdoor seating. And I am just amazed at the tread wind that they do. They do the fans in each four corners. It's the most comfortable thing. There's a fly that tries to come and it's like, he cannot survive that.
So, Dr. Washington, I'm not sure you're just gonna have to weather the storm because it's pretty bad. But I'm the king of corny transitions, but it makes sense in the end. Let's talk about how it's moving into respiratory season, and if we keep the same philosophy for the convection of air, Dr. Derry, being our infectious disease specialist, how does that help? I remember us saying that back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, certainly.
You like how I did that. You like that. Yeah.
Well, this is why these guys are professionals. You know, I'm sitting with two professional broadcasters and me a wannabe. We're moving into, we are moving into respiratory season right now. We're starting to see upticks of the respiratory viruses that we know of. We're starting to see wastewater surveillance that is taking positive for COVID. It's low levels, nothing I'd be concerned about right now. But when that new vaccine comes out, get those vaccines. It's so important. So we are seeing slight upticks of COVID and influenza as well, and I would imagine RSV. So it's important to keep that circulation in your house, especially if you do have different people or if you have groups of people who are staying with you or a large number of people in your family, especially if someone's sick. Make sure that air is circulating, just like we did during COVID. It's equally as important because these are other respiratory viruses that transmit very, very similarly as they did for COVID.
So I want to transition here soon, but I want to stay here for a minute. Let's keep our doctors. I want to transition now. You were telling me, you talked about vaccines, and that's really, really important. So where we talk about docs and dads and mommy doc, Dr. Washington, we're going parents and grandparents now. What happened with Slater yesterday?
So I actually have some really interesting news. So I approached the Infectious Diseases Society of America for an infectious diseases doctor like me. That's our society. You have the American Academy of Pediatrics or American Heart Association or what have you. For infectious diseases doctors, it is the Infectious Diseases Society of America. And I approached them. Oh, it was actually I was sitting right here last week when it occurred to me that maybe we should do a series of which I am taking Slater to the doctor and getting him vaccinated and whatever. So that idea that occurred to me sitting here last week, I took it to the Infectious Diseases Society of America. They loved it. So yesterday, just by coincidence, Slater was getting his 2-month vaccines, which consists of 7 different,
big boy.
Yeah, protecting against 7 different organisms. I'm going to see if I could try to get it. So it's essentially the Tdap. So pertussis, diphtheria, and tetanus. That's 3. Then there was the Hib, so that's 4. There was the Pneumovax, that's 5. There was rotavirus, that's 6. There was, what else was there? I gave the rotavirus, so that was kind of cool. Hep B was already done, so that was day 0 and then day 30. There's one more that'll occur to me.
So
And,
you can't do now. He forgot, like, Doc. You know, if you use all those acronyms and you do
Yeah,
all
I know.
that jargon,
I was just trying to.
you got to get
I
them out.
know.
Get them out.
I know.
You
I got to
do
get
it.
them out of my head. All
Get 'em
right.
out first and then
All
tell
right,
them-
so
tell them
Tdap-
each one of them.
So
now.
Tdap tetanus, as we all know, you step on a rusty nail.
gotta explain.
Tetanus is something that's really important. I've seen after the Haiti earthquake, I was in Haiti a couple days after the earthquake and saw multiple cases of tetanus.
What is tetanus? What
Tetanus is a bacteria
that kind of causes and
it
what?
causes something called, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Opisthotonus. Opisthotonus.
I don't know if you can say
and-
that. The FDA, can we say that on the air?
Opisthotonus. And what
Pissed
that
on
is,
somebody,
is,
peed on somebody's toe. What?
this is muscle spasms of the
Can't say that.
back.
All right.
Muscle.
But he said it first. I was just making sure. That's what he said.
No.
That's what he said.
Thank
What
you.
did you say?
Somebody's got my back.
What did he say?
And these are painful muscle spasms, and this is death through paralysis. Diaphragmatic, the breathing muscle in your abdomen can get paralyzed, and then you just stop breathing.
So
the treatment
you mean the diaphragm, the muscle that
divides
divides your
chest,
stomach
thorax.
from your chest,
Yeah.
that allows you, gives you the ability to breathe up and down. It can become paralyzed.
Becomes paralyzed. Once that is paralyzed, you are unable to breathe. That is what helps expand the lungs, and it helps with respirations, right? And so the way that you treat it, I saw several cases. Several of them were in older gentlemen. There was no way the U.S. was going to take them, but I was able to get a 15-year-old boy out of Haiti onto a military ship. And the way you treat is you have to intubate, and then you just basically sedate for about 7 to 10 days, and just let the toxin, the tetanus toxin, just essentially just flush out of you.
Run its course.
Yeah.
But again, with all of these vaccines, they're important enough that we have to do something to prevent contracting or getting these diseases. How do you get tetanus? What happened? You mentioned after. When would somebody? Why did the?
Like I
average
said, like
listener-
on rusty nail. Stepping on a rusty nail is the classic. But in Haiti, it was largely because these buildings are, were obviously not earthquake proof. There was, I think the last time we checked, I think I was with you, Eric. I think we checked 225,000 people who died in the Haitian earthquake of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you're going to imagine lots of people who survived that. There's lots of scrapes, cuts. There was lots of, obviously, amputations or what have you.
Because the bacteria might live on these rusty
things. And right. And so, but the thing that he also got, and I'm less concerned about that, but it's good because it's good for a 10-year vaccine, right? The other thing, that diphtheria is an older, George Washington died of diphtheria. This is a bacteria that coats the back of your throat. It's a very gray, mucousy, and it makes respirations very, very difficult and difficult to eat. But the one that's important right now, that has been important since I first came here, again, 21 years ago, is pertussis. We have been living in a persistent pertussis. I'm trying to find another alliterative with a P. Place, persistent pertussis epidemic that we have seen with the whooping. So pertussis is also whooping cough.
Whooping cough. Why do they call it whooping cough, Doc?
Because you cough like a seal.
You can hear it
Right.
waiting.
You could hear
when
it.
when I'm working in the ED, I've caught several. I'm like, definitely get them to the back and know exactly what that is.
Right.
By the bark.
Music,
Right. And here's another really good clinical cue as well, is especially with adults, but you'll see it in kids too. The kids will bark, the adults won't. The adults will have a prolonged cough that lasts 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. Never sit on a cough. The more you cough, begets cough. The more you cough, the more you cough. So never sit on a cough. Always treat a cough. You could do it over the counter with Mucinex or whatever, but take it around the clock. But the telltale sign of whooping cough is post-tussive emesis. Go ahead, explain what that is.
Means that after you cough, you throw up. Post, after, tussis, cough, emesis, throw up.
That is a telltale sign of pertussis or whooping cough.
No, we're not gonna say that, right?
That was the 3. So the other one that he got was the Hib, the Haemophilus influenza B, and that one I can't tell you how important that vaccine is. Prior to vaccination availability with the Hib vaccine, HIB, Haemophilus influenza B, children used to die of meningitis. That was a disastrous thing. They would die at very, very young ages. Babies would die of Haemophilus influenza B. And it was also the number one cause of kind of upper respiratory ears, nose, throat infections. And in fact, that's where this whole thing where, I have green sputum or whatever, it was oftentimes
Green
thought,
spit up.
right, that would be considered likely to have been in those days. It would have been Haemophilus influenza B. Thankfully, that vaccine was invented in the early 90s, and we do not see it anymore.
So, Dr. Washington, I want you to explain meningitis. Like people, these are very, 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 very serious. And people talk about meningitis, and these terms go by, and people don't understand. If there is a vaccine to prevent infection with any organism, it is that serious that the masses, we all need to be protected. Can you please explain the term meningitis so people understand what that means?
So meningitis is an inflammation of the brain and spinal cord. And in our very, very young children, it can be deadly. It used to be, and they changed the literature, but any kid that had a fever that was less than 4 weeks old, you automatically did a spinal tap because it was so important not to miss that. Now it's less than 2 weeks. But that is one of the big preventable causes of morbidity and mortality for children. And that's, to me, all of the vaccines are important, but definitely that one.
And what is the telltale cardinal sign that you worry about if a patient comes in and they can't do what?
Which one? For meningitis?
Flex
they can't
their
flex
neck
their
and
neck.
turn
They
their
can't
neck.
put their chin to their chest.
Correct.
Because you think about it, because if these
neck stiffness, fevers, high fevers, persistent, unrelenting fevers, and then obviously just difficult with moving the neck and headaches, very, very bad. Headaches, vision changes.
They call the tissues in the spinal cord, spinal canal. The spinal cord is included, the nervous system from the brain that goes down. They call them meninges. And anytime you hear the word itis, that means swelling. Like when you talk about arthritis, it's swelling of the joints. Meningitis is swelling of the meninges, the neural tissue. That wasn't 7, Brett.
No, I know. So Pneumovax. So what is the Pneumovax? So the Pneumovax is the pneumonia. So people get something called a pneumonia, which is inflammation or infection of the lungs, but there's a bug, a bacteria, that is the most common cause of that. They just gave it the name pneumococcus or streptococcus pneumonia is what it's called, what its legal name is, right? And so streptococcus pneumonia, we refer to it as pneumococcus or just the pneumonia. And so the Pneumovax, because there's so many different strains, there's hundreds and hundreds of different strains of the same bacteria, but there's about 20 of them that are very common that cause pneumonias in children. And so he got the 20 Prevnar yesterday. So he was now protected against 20 different organisms.
Now, streptococcal pneumonia, the bacteria that causes the pneumonia is called streptococcus. And go deeper, Dr. Washington, pneumonia, explain it so people understand it. People hear about walking pneumonia. There was COVID pneumonia. What does it mean? Keep going.
When it comes to pneumonias, you can have a viral cause, you can have a bacterial cause, but when it comes to vaccinations, things that we can vaccinate against that can cause severe pneumonias that could possibly land you in respiratory distress and on the intubated, we want to vaccinate against those. But pneumonias, it could be caused by so many different things. Whenever someone comes in, they're short of breath, they're hypoxic, we're going to do an x-ray, and we may see things, but we don't know exactly what causes it. So being vaccinated, that kind of puts some of those really, really dangerous bacteria or infections further down on our list.
So, go.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the last.
Oh, yeah.
Or did you want to talk about
no,
COVID? Do you want to talk about viral pneumonias? Or
we want to talk because I want to talk about what Slater Gator first, and then I want to get to school.
Right. So the final, there's a 7th one in there, and I can't remember what it was, but the final one that I actually got to give him was the rotavirus.
That was
which
called
is a
old
liquid.
age itis. Y'all heard it here, folks. He can't remember. Let's go ahead.
Did he get that rotavirus one first, or did he get that last?
No, he got it first.
Good, so he won't be mad with you.
So he
he's
will
not
get. Yeah, no, but he got mad. In fact, I have it on video. Well, we filmed it. We filmed the whole thing for the IDSA.
Yeah.
So the pediatrician. I prepped the pediatrician. So he actually was well read on the vaccines, and then went through and kind of talked about the vaccines and the importance of it. And the idea is that we're going to push these on social media so that people can see it. They can see an actual infectious disease doctor with a newborn having to navigate the complicated vaccine schedule. And we'll hold it there until the break is over.
Wow. So, boy, he really built us up. I feel like I was watching Morgan Freeman last night.
My dinosaur hands was vaccinating him with my Tyrannosaurus.
The cantaloupes, right? Folks, this is Doc Talkin. We'll see y'all on the other side. Don't forget our call line is 504-582-9422. Doc Talkin, get checked, get fit, get moving. Here with Dr. Washington, Dr. Derry. See you in 2 and 2.
And everybody knows how to just do something.
WBOK, online at WBOK1230.com.
Hey, New Orleans, it's Doc Griggs. Tune in every Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. for Doc Talkin. Get checked, get fit, get moving.
Be sure to join us Thursday afternoon on The Reality Check as WBOK's very own Wendell Pierce, in conjunction with the New Orleans Film Society, will be here to discuss his new movie, They Fight. Don't miss out on this exclusive interview with Wendell as he discusses the movie and other projects he is working on. It all goes down on The Reality Check, Thursday afternoon on WBOK.
It's time to lock in.
Yes, Coach.
Let's get it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Hi, my name is Shirley Simon.
I am Dr. Brenda Jackson.
Hello, my name is Linda Payson. We are all members of the NAACP New Orleans branch, and we would like to invite you to our President's Legacy Breakfast.
The President's Legacy Breakfast will be held on Saturday, August 29th, 8:30 a.m. at the Hilton Riverside Hotel.
Get your tickets today at eventbrite.com for $100 or call the NAACP at 504-434-8965.
This is Doc Griggs here with the free agents. Trying to encourage you to get out, get checked, get fit, get moving. There's no other way to do it. The only way we know how in New Orleans. We hop, we skip, and we like to do something. It doesn't matter what you do. I just want you to move. You know how to do that.
Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Doc Talkin. Get checked, get fit, get moving. I'm your host, Doc Griggs, and Dr. Darius will be back in a minute. We got Dr. Washington sitting right here. We were talking about heat. We were talking about schools. Now, I did say I wanted to talk to the parents. You got a grandpa, you got a dad, you got a mom here. It's school time, Doc. Your kids are back in school.
Hallelujah.
So, there are times when we take our doctor hats off and we are just who we are. What concerns do you have in navigating getting back to school, getting back into the rhythm, and respiratory-wise, disease-wise, sleep habits-wise, habits-wise, routines-wise? Give me your thoughts.
I always tell my kids, health is so important. You only have one body. So we practice eating healthy things, drinking water. I don't buy juice. Now, they do love candy. I have one that has an obsession with sugar. But what I try to do with them is overall encourage them to eat the right things, and also water, taking sips throughout the day. And encouraging them, because it's a new school. It's
How old are your boys?
It was the same school. They're 8-year-old
yeah.
twin boys. So going back to school is a new time for them. It's new people. So decreasing that anxiety for them and making them feel like, okay, I have my cool little zip bag with my pencils and my notebooks in it. And also trying to encourage them to make better food choices, because they exchange food at lunch, and sometimes they may exchange their lunch for something that's not so healthy, or just candy.
But what do you worry about? Like, take off the doctor. That's a doc. I mean, as a mommy, like when you worry about how do you prepare them? We tell them to wash their hands. We tell them don't put on anybody else's hat. What are the things that people won't think about? You can't take off the doc hat, but you definitely can't take off so as a mommy doctor, what do you think about to prepare them, and what do you tell others about?
Washing their hands, and washing their hands again.
So they wash their hands?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Wash your hands and stop touching your eyes, your mucous membranes. A lot of these things like COVID, influenza, bacterial infections, sometimes they exist on surfaces. And when you go and you rub your eyes or you wipe your nose
so
and you
you
haven't
mean
washed your hands,
if-
then now
If
you
little,
have.
if little Stephanie sneezes on the table and I put my hand on the table and then I wipe my eyes or my face or my mouth, I can catch that infection?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I try to teach my children, and it is hard. They are 8. They don't get it right every time, but to wash their hands and to cover their mouth whenever they sneeze or they cough.
Now, when you say cover their mouth, what do you mean? Say, Slater.
I mean
Slater.
for them to cough into their elbow or take both hands and cover their mouth so that they don't infect other people.
Folks, this is Dr. Slater has entered the building. He's in the room. He's such a big boy. He had his little vaccines yesterday, and Dad is handing him to Dr. Washington, getting him ready. But we're talking about infections. We're talking about vaccines and protecting our babies as they go to school. When you get on the mic, we'll talk about how important it is. It's not just for you that you're protecting yourself, covering your coughs, and getting vaccinated. It's for our babies, like our 8-week-old superhero here, that is just developing his immune system.
Right, and it's something I always want to make sure everybody remembers is that the two things that increased human beings' life expectancy from 40s and 50s to the 70s and 80s were two things, and that was simple: clean water,
Dun, dun,
washing
dun.
your hands, and vaccinations. So,
It was loose. No worries. No worries. We got you covered. Washing your hands, and I forgot the other one, Doc. And vaccines, of course. Little Slater Gator, he looks like he's tired. He had a rough day. So, folks, here's the thing. He had his vaccinations yesterday, and this is what happens in the body. Our bodies recognize these things as foreign, so they can protect you from the next time they encounter them in larger amounts that might make you sick. So his body is working right now and learning these invaders that they're going through a practice run of what he was introduced to yesterday to protect him for the rest of his life. So that's the reason that he's cranky. That's the reason after you get vaccinations, you might feel as though you're sick. It's not a sick response. It's an immune system response as your body, as your little workers and troopers inside your body prepare to protect you from the army of vaccines and bacteria that can hurt us.
So in two of our animations that Eric and I made, in fact, our first two animations, Eric and I talked about how antibodies are made. And antibodies are made, the building blocks for antibodies in the humans are called cytokines and interleukins. And those are the basic chemicals. Hey, Slater. It's all good, Slater.
It's all right, buddy.
Later, Slater. Those building blocks that build antibodies, when they're released in the body, they make you feel sick. In fact, that is what being sick is.
That's what it is.
The release of those cytokines and interleukins. That's why when you're sick, we all feel the same way. Whether you have a urinary tract infection or you have an upper respiratory tract infection, that feeling of feeling low energy, that feeling of body aches, that feeling of fever, that all comes from those interleukins and cytokines. So it's very clear when people say, oh, I got sick after I got vaccinated or I got the flu after I got vaccinated. No, you didn't. What you really did is you felt the vaccine working as it was intended to.
That's your body working to help protect you. That generalized feeling, just like you've had those generalized feelings, it's called malaise. I just don't feel good. There's that feeling of not feeling good the next day is your body working. And he's working so hard. The importance.
Poor Slater.
When is
you want me to take him? Oh, did he get? He got wet. Okay.
Again, folks, this is Doc talking. Get checked, get fit, get moving. It's docs and dads and mommy docs, and we take care of the babies. It's a family show. Doc, you got him vaccinated. When will his next round be?
In 2 more months, and I don't remember off the top of my head what it's going to be right now.
No. But the important thing is this is a continuous process. It's not necessarily a one and done for all vaccines. The body responds in different ways to the bugs, so there just can't be a one size that that fits all for everything that we do. As folks, as you can see, this is Doc Talkin. It's a unique show in that it's not just we're talking to the community. We are the community. We are the village. We have baby Slater with us. We have Dr. Derry as a dad. I'm a grandfather. We got Dr. Washington, who's a mommy. So we talk to things from not just as medical professionals, but from real people really in the community with real issues. Again, our talk line is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. Any questions that you might have, health questions you might have that we can help empower and educate you on. We are wise and wise enough in medicine and smart enough to know when we don't know when. Expect experts as we as the show, as we grow. We invite other medical experts and people that you might not have access to in your day-to-day to bring to you to answer your questions and talk about the things that affect us all. These times are It's that time of year where things are busy and they can be a little confusing until we get all into our routines of morning dropping off at school, picking kids up from events, taking them to sporting events. You got to remember to take care of yourself too. I know we're talking about taking care of the kids, but all of us have to get on a schedule. You want to make sure you're getting your rest. One of the most important things you can do for yourself is to get sleep. It's not just the stage 4 REM sleep that we talk about. It's stage 3. That's when your growth and repair takes place. Your body needs 4 cycles of those 4 stages of sleep to get properly rested if you're going to take a nap. Each of those cycles is about 15 minutes apiece, right? 15 minutes in stage 1, 15 minutes stage 2, 15 minutes in stage 3, which is the most important. The recommended sleep time is between 20 and 45 minutes. That you don't quite get to the deep REM sleep, but you get to that growth and repair sleep, which is what a lot of times you'll take a nap and you'll just feel refreshed. As we say that as Slater Gator is going to, he's going for a dressing change. Dr. Derry might not make it back, but Dr. Washington, do you have any final words for our listeners? That was quick, man.
So final words, water is so important. Your health is so important. Really incorporating that and remaining cool is going to be very important for your overall health. We're going into COVID and flu season. You want to make sure that your health status is the highest it can be. So circle back to the ventilation thing too. Opening your windows is important as well. We shed our skin cells. We have allergens in there. It's about to change into the winter season. So you want to make sure that you're opening your windows so you can circulate the air and change your air filters. Change
your air filters. Change your air filters. Burp your house. Get the bugs out. Now, and I think that's all we got for this week. Remember, this is Doc Talkin. Get checked, get fit, get moving. See y'all next week.
This is Doc Graves here with the free agents. I'm trying to encourage you to get out, get checked, get fit, get moving.